Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Shadowrun, where I'm still in the early parts of lots of conversation. Well, that's that, I guess. We're runners now. Yeah, I think it's time to catch up. Could be. He stops for a moment, stares at the weapon in his hand. That's why I'm maintaining my equipment. It helps me focus my brain, work through stuff. He sighs, lowers the rifle. Now's as good a time as any, I guess. Where do you want to start? Let's talk about being Shadowrunners. What's there to say? I worked my ass off to pull myself out of the gutter and make something of myself. I did what it took to earn my bronze, and now I'm a mercenary hiding in the shadows of a foreign country, doing dirty jobs that the corps need to keep off the books. That's the reverse of everything I ever wanted. You seem to be taking to it pretty damn well, so let me ask you something. You said this was all about running the shadows until we find out who killed Raymond. Then it's about payback. Was that true? Yes, this is all about revenge for... No, this is just what I told kindly. Then what's the real reason? Okay, so what is the reason? I'm going to go with the I think he's alive, actually. Wu nods, surprised and satisfied. Good that we're on the same page. I feel better knowing that. What's your opinion of kindly Chang? I'd say she's got us right where she wants us, right under her thumb. What do you want to talk about specifically? What do you think she wants from us? As long as her network keeps delivering information about Raymond, I don't care, at least for now. We need to stay with her. We have no other connections in Hong Kong. Without her, we're dead in the water. This is a really silly question. You're the one with the Shadowrunner etiquette. You don't have gangland etiquette, though. A triad boss and underground fixer? No, I don't think we can trust her, but as long as we all share the same goals, we should be okay. Makes sense. As long as we serve her interests, she doesn't have a reason to screw us over. Exactly, it's simple. She provides jobs, we do jobs. She gets info about Raymond and that plastic-faced man, and we figure out what the hell's going on. We figure out what's going on, she doesn't end up in the trunk of a car at the bottom of the river. Everybody wins. We should keep an eye on Stringler Bow. We should keep an eye on everybody, and that guy is definitely no exception. I've seen plenty of cold killers in the Barrens, and plenty more since I joined Lone Star. This guy's the real deal. I'm not sure if he knows what the word remorse even means. You should steer clear of him. I'll be careful. I can see that. I think we're gonna have to end up fighting him. What about this plastic-faced man? Creepy dudes are nothing new to me, even well-dressed creepy corporate dudes. Between the gangers we grew up with and the shit that I've run into as a cop, I've seen all kinds. I just want to know who he is and who he works for. Let's talk about something else. I'm pretty sure he's more than one person. Sure, if you want. Talk about Raymond? Okay, shoot. What do you think's going on with him? I don't know, Killeen. He was clearly obsessed with the walled city and whatever prosperity is. He sounds like a sleepwalker trying to stumble his way through a dream or something. Sleepwalker who hires Shadowrunners. Whatever he was doing, he knew it would be dangerous. Raymond was smart as hell. If he thought that he needed runners to take him into that place, he needed them. Did he say anything about me after I left? You know Raymond, Killeen. He taught us what he wanted to teach us. He told us what he wanted us to know. Everything else was met with a good wall of good-natured silence. He used to say, "You are the master of the unspoken word, Mr. Wu. Once it is out of your mouth, it is out of your control." So no, after you left, he never said a word about you. Not a word. Makes sense. Why do you think he came to Hong Kong? Well, he's from here, right? Sounds like he had unfinished business that he needed to take care of before... You think he's dying? Maybe. Just something to think about. Let's talk about something else. Sure, ask away. Gobbet and Isabel? They seem competent, considering how young they are, but then again, they sound like they've been taking care of themselves since they were pretty young. 3 of us worked together well in Walled City. Based on that, I'd bet the 4 of us would make a solid crew. Do you trust them? Trust is, as far as I trust any runner, yeah. It's like Raymond used to say, trust and verify. They haven't given me a reason not to trust them, so until they do, I'll believe what they say and keep my eyes open. I can't get that dream that I had out of my head. You said you had one too, right? You said you had one too, right? Yeah, yours sounded like a nasty one. I don't remember much about mine. I was pretty creeped out by a run into the walled city. Between that and all the drama, I'd be surprised if I didn't have a nightmare. Was the walled city in your dream? Of course the walled city was in my dream. It was a nightmare, wasn't it? Was it in your dream too? Sure looked like it. I'm not sure, or I'm surprised. The walled city is more than just another slum and a sprawl. Hell, it is a sprawl. Of course we dreamed about it. The feeling I had there has stayed with me. It felt thick, heavy. I got this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, wretchedness, I guess. There is something really nasty in that place. What do you remember about your... Did it feel any different from other nightmares you had? He takes his time, thinks about his answer a bit before he responds. You know how sometimes you'll be mad at a friend in a dream and then wake up and still be mad at him? Then you treat him like he did something wrong when you see him? Kind of feels like that to me, like I dreamed I was swimming towards a bright light, and when I woke up, I was out of breath from the effort. What do you remember about yours? Just little snatches of things. The walled city was breathing, and it had teeth everywhere. There was a tunnel that was so bright that I had to shut my eyes, and Raymond was there, and he was either kneeling or lying down. I can't remember which, but he was crying. That's what made me wake up, the sound of my father crying. Let's talk about something else. All right, let's talk later. We have... Later's good. I want to do some cardio, work off some steam. Then it's rack time for me. You should do the same, Colleen. A couple hundred push-ups would do you good. Please, I could bust out to 200 in my sleep. He raised an eyebrow. I'd love to see that sometime, but for now, you should clear out. I want to get started. This cabin isn't big enough for two. Let's see. Here's Isabel. These Shadowrun games are games where you want to keep up to date on your conversations with your companions. Isabel's cabin is an exercise in controlled chaos. Her living space is utterly dominated by an enormous jury-rigged computer. So I see. Serpentine cables and snake from component to component, tying dozens of obsolete terminals and cyberdecks together into a single colossal machine. This is my personal machine. If you're looking for a mission computer, it's downstairs. She doesn't bother looking up. You can see that she's elbow deep in the guts of an obsolete cyberdeck, one of a half dozen that have been wired into her computer with braided cables. Actually, I was hoping to talk to you. Got a second? There is a long pause, then she chirps out a response. We're talking now, aren't we? I guess so, yeah. Can I ask you a few questions? She leans in, scrutinizing the innards of the obsolete deck. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Have you been having weird dreams recently? Body goes still. Yes, I think everybody has. Me too. I've been having horrible nightmares. I know, it happens more often than you'd think. She tilts her head in the direction of the walled city. This kind of mass psychosis was common where I grew up. Everybody got it. It seems more like a magical phenomena to me. I don't really know what it is, and I don't think I want to. I just want to work on my computer in peace. It's quite a machine you're working on. Care to tell me? I should have gone about the sharing dreams. Oh well. Care to tell me about it? She's my pet project. I call her the Octopus. She waves a hand at the tangle of thick power cables that radiate out from the machine's central core. You might be able to guess why. Impressive work. How well does it perform? She's a monster. She yanks a fried chip from the deck's motherboard and neatly sets it aside, then fumbles in a nearby bin for replacement. An absolute beast. What is this thing made of? Whatever I could find. Busted terminals, obsolete cyberdecks, aftermarket memory from Maximum Law's dumper. Scavengers would kill for this stuff in the walled city, but out here people throw it away. She tuckles to herself as she eases a card into an empty expansion slot. Most Deckers are early adopters. They buy whatever's newest, shell out huge amounts of new in hopes of riding the bleeding edge. Stupid. It's an arms race. Deckers do what they have to do. They do what's easy, throw money at the problem. Amateurs. For a quarter of the price of that whiz new Cyberdeck, I can have 5 of last year's model. And after I finish daisy chaining them together, the machine I've built will run circles around your store-bought wonder. Yes, and you'll need a flatbed truck to carry it. Do we look like we're hurting for space to you? She rummages in a bin to her left and pulls out a stick of solid-state memory. It disappears into the deck that she's working on. I've got a whole boat to work with, your cabin included, if I told Gobbet I needed it. You would be my guest, I wouldn't mind. Huh, well, I was joking, but if you're really okay with it, I might someday. We'll see. What about your portable gear, your cyberdeck software, that kind of thing? If it gets the job done, might not be top of the line, but I'm comfortable using it in the field. If you should happen to come across any more advanced hardware or software, either on the job or on the discount rack at Law's Techno Palace, I'm not above taking donations. But barring that, I'm fine with using what I've got. Your call. Can we talk about the ambush at Victoria Harbor? I'd rather not. I lost friends there. Duncan and I didn't come out of the attack unscathed either. They shot Carter down same as your friends. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. You don't have to apologize, just change the subject. Any thoughts about that? We don't have that last run. I wasn't there, remember? So for me it was pretty much like any other night. I spent the evening tooling around on the octopus. Anything else you wanted to know? I'd like to get to know you better. Tell me something about yourself. Something? Okay, I don't like small talk. Does that count? Sure, it tells me you don't want to be social. Yeah, of course. If you don't want to talk, we don't have to talk. Thanks for not pushing it. It's nothing personal, I just don't think I'm a very interesting person. Let's try this last one and push it. You don't like talking things about things other than your computer very much, do you? There's a long pause before she responds. When she does, she sounds vaguely hurt. I prefer not to. Nothing personal, it's just the way that I am. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to know who I'm running with, don't you? Yes, you're still a mystery to me. I don't like mysteries, but I do enjoy solving them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you a question, something personal. After you've given me an answer, you get to ask me something. This old game. Okay, got her full attention. Think of it like a game of questions. We take turns until one of us wants to quit. Deal? Deal. You go first. Ask away. We'll start off easy. Tell me what you really think about Duncan. Old friends who drift apart, that's all. He means to an end back in the Barrens. Now he's just irritated. I don't have any feelings one way or the other. He's a pain in the ass, but he's like a brother to me. Interesting. Her eyes flit to the doorway of Gobbet's cabin. The corner of her mouth tilts upward into a slight smile, and a little familiar. Well, you've answered my question. I guess that makes it your turn. How did you and Gobbet meet? Her brow furrows, and after a moment she screws her eyes shut. We met as kids in the walled city. My prison was her playground. Sorry if that was uncomfortable for you. No, it isn't that. I'll be fine. I just have a hard time remembering those days. My childhood is kind of a blur. Shifts her gaze back to the octopus. And that would make it my turn. She pauses, considering. So tell me, what is your connection to Raymond Black? Wanted to buy the Gratitude Street Kids. Benefactor mentor, I respected him. He was like a father to me and Duncan. He got us out of the Barrens. In that case, I am sorry for your loss. Losing the ones you love is hard. Your turn. Ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. How long have you been running the Shadows with Gobbet? That's a good question. I guess about 4 years now. Decent stretch by anyone's reckoning. That brings us back to my turn. She gestures to the cabin walls around you. You enjoy it, don't you? Living like this, working the shadows. I do what I have to do. I left this behind. Pulled me out of the Barrens. I want my old life back. Survival. Enjoyment doesn't come into it. This is kind of what I feel like where she's at in her life, so this is survival. I do what I have to. Enjoyment doesn't come into it. We may have more common than I'd thought. Your turn again. Go ahead and ask me something. Where did you learn to deck? The Wampoa. I lived there for a while after escaping the walled city. The people there were difficult. We didn't get along. But it was a great place to learn. My turn again. Her head tilts as she studies your face. And I think my last question for you. You're stuck here marooned. You and Duncan both. You're obviously unhappy. He's obviously unhappy with the situation. He keeps going on about the things that he left behind. What about you? Is there anything you want to get back to? Nothing worth mentioning. Truth be told, I'm enjoying the change of scenery. Nothing. There isn't anything about your old life that you'll miss. I don't know whether to envy you or feel sorry for you. She glances down at the clock on her desk. Well, you came out of the walled city, so you should find that familiar. An antique model with physical hands that looks like it was retched out of a submarine. A frown spreads across her face. Shit, it's even later than I thought. I've still got a long way to go before the octopus is fixed. She begins to turn away, her attention fixed on the stack of partially disassembled cyberdecks arrayed in front of her. Hang on, Isabel. You still owe me another question. That's true. Go ahead. I need you to tell me what you can about the walled city. Voice goes cold. Why? Because that hellhole's getting into our heads, influencing our dreams. Because Raymond Black wanted to go in there and somebody destroyed my life to keep him from doing that. Her cheeks flush, just like they did the last time. She averts her eyes. No, I'm sorry, but no. Later, maybe. Not now. All right, Isabel. Maybe next time. Please excuse me, I have work to do. Don't push it. Is Gobbet around? Ooh, Gobbet. Gobbet's nest is pretty much what you'd expect. Piles of clothes on the ground, an overflowing garbage bin surrounded by stacks of instant noodle packets, and towers of tinned oysters. Avant-garde posters haphazardly thumbtacked to the walls, overlapping in some places and peeling in others. That's an advertisement. That's not avant-garde. Feels a lot like an art school dorm room. Gobbet reclines in a corner, cradling a bowl of soup in her hands. At her feet, a cast-iron pot simmers away on electric hot plate. The contents are typical Hong Kong comfort food. Chicken-style soya broth, elbow macaroni, tinned ham, and a heaping scoop of egg-flavored mycoprotein. As you wind your way through the piles of dirty laundry, Gobbet slowly lifts her head from her bowl to acknowledge you. Hey, Seattle! She chews on the words along with a mouthful of cheap pasta. A corner of her mouth curls up into a half smile. How's tricks? It'd be a lot better if you stopped calling me Seattle. Okay. Things have been better. Things have been worse. That's the attitude. That's the attitude. Very stoic, very strong. It's downright inspiring. She skims an oily slab of faux ham off the top of her soup and pops it into her mouth. Now, you want to tell me what you're doing in my bedroom? I'm assuming you're not here to admire the view. There's not a way to follow through on that truck-sized opening you just gave her. Okay, how did you decide on the name Gobbet anyway? I didn't. My mom did. Pops a noodle into her mouth and chews. So Gobbet is your given name? Your mother named you after a wad of meat? Yeah, sure. I don't think she knew what it meant. She just thought it sounded pretty. You get used to that, by the way. People here in Hong Kong like to stand out, and choosing unique names is one of the ways that they do it. Have you had any nightmares recently, like bad ones? Yeah, I have. We all have. Everyone in town. Her jaw stops working mid-chew. Slowly she nods. Me too, and Isabel. We both just had the same nightmare. Shouldn't there be mass panic then? I mean, this ranks pretty high on the list of things to get freaked out about. Yeah, I think your list is different from mine. The people of Hayoi have learned to put up with a lot worse than bad dreams. I'm not saying they shouldn't be freaked out. I'm just saying that when you live in a place like this, you'll usually have at least 20 other things to worry about. Tangible things, the kind that can put a bullet in your head. In my professional opinion, the dreams are coming from inside the wall of the city. All the negative energy that's pinned up in there. All of that pain and anger and poisonous ki is leaking out, and it's getting into our heads while we sleep. It's pretty freaky. More so than the people here are prepared to understand. You think this is a magical phenomenon? This does not make sense. Isn't this story set post-Chicago Bug City? You think this is a magical phenomenon, then? Yeah, I think it is. Want my personal opinion? The walled city is cursed, deep down. I think everybody knows it, and we live it in its shadow. That's bound to mess with your head, you know, and it is. But they're just dreams. It's not like they can hurt us, right? I'm glad that one of us isn't terrified by this. She tries on a smile, fails, does her best to laugh it off. But don't worry, Seattle, we're fine here, and let's talk about something else, huh? I don't like thinking about the walled city very much. Too many old fears and bad feelings. If you're up to talking about it, I wanted to go over the ambush back on the docks with you. Yeah, she nods, slowly frowning. Yeah, I figured you would. That was a hell of a thing, right? I've been through worse. Well, good for you. That doesn't change the fact that I lost friends back there, or that you lost that mage that came here with you. What was her name? Carter. She was a friend of Duncan's. Yeah, seemed like a good woman. Tough, skilled, light on her feet, but in the end it didn't matter because some asshole with a rifle made a decision a half-mile away. Nightjar and Gutshot were two of the strongest men I've ever known, and quality Shadowrunners, both of them. I've watched those two fight through situations that'd kill anyone and come out on top. How did they go out? Bang, bang, dead, dead. No blaze of glory, no final speech, just extinguished, smashed like bugs. She mimes holding a rifle, makes a show of peering down a scope. They knew the writ. We would have gotten the same way if you hadn't gotten us out of there. She absentmindedly raises the bowl to her shoulder. A rat crawls over the slope of her back and lowers its head to lap at the broth. It was more rat than me. She's the one who grabbed me by the gut and led us to that sewer entrance. All I did was follow. I'd like to learn more about Rat. What kind of totem is she? Clever one. She's gotten me out of more trouble than I care to mention. Got me into a fair amount of it, too. But I can always count on her to lead me out of hot water when I need her to. I can feel it in my belly, you know, sort of a tugging sensation. I've long since learned to follow it. I wasn't aware that totems took such direct control of their shamans. Usually they don't. Me and Rat, we have a sort of special bond. That's 3 videos on talking. Not unusual, actually. Especially at the beginning of a thing, or when I'm digging into NPC chat. I'm going to finish out Gobbet and then go to a new video. She takes care of me. I've always done my best to take care of her. Another pair of beady eyes blinks up at you from Gobbet's hip. A second rat scurries up to her shoulder to join the first. And to pamper her earthly children like these two, meet madness and folly. Are they just normal rats then? I thought they might have been spirits or something. Nope, just rats. She brushes her fingers across the white rat's mottled coat. Don't trust folly, she bites. How did you come across madness and folly? I looked outside. I mean, they're rats. Hong Kong isn't experiencing a rodent shortage or anything. So you just picked them up off the street? Yep, I think of them as rescue vermin. That got me. You could probably do the same if you wanted to. It's easy. Just walk into any alleyway in Kowloon after sundown and stick your hand in the first dumpster or storm drain you come across. Keep fishing around until you touch fur. It sounds like a really bad idea. Yeah, in retrospect, it might have been. She continues to brush Folly's coat. The creature chirps happily at her touch. Odds are about 50-50 that you'd get your hand chewed off. I'd probably feel bad about that. You seem pretty comfortable with all this. Been running the shadows for a while? A long time. Started when I was just a kid. You're still a kid now, Gobbet. What are you, 19? Something like, she rolls her shoulders and shrugs, something like that. Your guess is as good as mine. Doesn't change the fact that I've been doing this for years and you started yesterday. Not really. Matter of fact, Seattle, I think that I'm going to make a project of you. Take you under my wing, so to speak. You need a wizened mentor. Might as well be me. Sure, why not? I could use the advice, and I don't see Isabel volunteering for the job anytime soon. You're in? Good. Starting the next time you visit, I'm going to teach you all about being a Shadowrunner, stifles Young. You're going to benefit from my bountiful experience. Wait and see. I'll be looking forward to it. Gobbet stretches, stifles Young. Her rats scurry from her shoulders down to her hips. She taps the simmering pot on the floor with her boot. The soup inside is reduced down into a thick, viscous gravy. You know, Seattle, it's been a nice chat and all, and it's getting late, and I still have the rest of a hot pot to power through. So without wanting this to get awkward, she glances toward the door. I could help you with that if you wanted. Thanks, but no thanks. Smirking, she brushes Folly's coat with the knuckles on her left hand. You can go get your own food. Now would be a good time. All right, I get it. Talk to you later, Gobbet. Yeah, we'll do that. It'll be fun. Fun. Okay, so that's time to go to new video. I'm going to check to see how much space I have on my hard drive. And if I have enough, I might go on and try to do the start of one of those missions.